Ladies and gentlemen,
Welcome to the show.
It's the Tiny and Katy Show, powered by Roots Hair Design, Route 11 in Marion.
Hey, I'm Tiny.
Hey, it's Katy. Oh my gosh, how much does it feel like straight winter today?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. As we record this, it is Thursday, the 17th, and yeah, it is crazy cold. Katy, you're not going to miss this. On Saturday morning, by the way, all powered by Roots Hair Design, Route 11 in Marion, and we got a lot to get to, short amount of time to do it, but this Saturday is a day that's going to bring back a couple memories for you. Number one.
Oh, it's a parade. It's the Green Castle Christmas parade. Yes.
Yeah, parade day. And I think this might go down as the coldest one ever on record because on Saturday, it's only supposed to get up to like 36 for the day.
Oh, yeah, that's brutal. Brutal.
So the morning is going to be pretty bad. The other one is Katy got diverticulitis.
Yes. Can I tell the story really quick?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, I have diverticulitis. I've had a couple flare-ups since my really, really bad bout of it that I had back in like 2013. So this is what happened. The night before, it was a Friday night, you and I had to go and MC the Trace Adkins concert at the Lure Center.
Yep.
And when we got there, we were starving because we had been doing events all day long.
Oh, it's ridiculous. Hadn't even been home.
Yeah, and Trace wanted real like Southern home cooking. So it was like mashed potatoes, corn. I don't remember what else.
Good stuff.
Good. It was amazing food, but I had a huge bowl of mashed potatoes and corn. And I remember you even said something about how quickly I was eating it because I was so hungry. I was just like scarfing it down. And I woke up at like 2 o'clock in the morning the next morning, and Tiny and I had to MC the Greencastle parade, which is a big deal. I mean, it's a huge parade. It lasts a couple hours. It's a lot to do. It's not like you just show up and like, do a little bit of work and then roll. And I woke up at like 2 o'clock in the morning and man, my stomach was killing me. But it was off to the side. So at first I thought like, is this gas? I'm not sure, because
right.
I know that can be painful. And then I got in the shower to go to the Christmas parade and I passed out in the shower. And I was like, I don't think I'm okay, but I'm just going to power through and then I'll figure it out afterwards because I know I had to be at this parade.
Yeah, she calls me and she's like, Tiny, I didn't sleep last night and I'm pretty sure I just passed out in the shower. But don't worry, I'll be there.
Yeah, I'll be there. No worries. I'll be there. Just letting you know, like, I'm not well.
Right.
So I show up to the parade, and I mean, I'm like green. Like
You're
my
dying.
face
You're
was
dying.
green.
Yeah.
And I couldn't stand up straight, so I had to hold my stomach the whole time. At this point, I thought I had appendicitis because I could not stand up straight. And we're doing the parade. I don't, honest to God, Tiny, I blacked out. I don't remember anything that we said, that we did. I don't remember anything. I just remember afterwards, I said, I'm going to get my car and I'm going to roll to urgent care. Something is not right inside of me. And when I got to urgent care, I threw up twice in the parking lot. I barely made it into the urgent care. They sat me down on a table. They gave me anti-nausea medication. They looked at my stomach. They immediately sent me to the ER. I had a tear in my colon and there was like bile spilling into my body. And
yummy.
I was sick as a dog. I mean, I was in the hospital for almost a week. They were 90%, there was a 90% chance they were going to have to remove part of my colon. They ended up not having to, but man, that was the scariest thing that ever happened to me. And Tiny came to visit me that night, remember, and I was on Dilaudid, and I was like high as a kite. I mean, oh my God, that stuff is like,
awful.
Oh boy. And I'm
well,
like,
I felt bad because the way that my parade day works is we up super early, as Katy just said, Greencastle parade. And as soon as that's done, I have to head over to Waynesboro because I MC their Christmas parade. Mm-hmm. So there's Katy, my best friend. She's dying.
Like literally in the hospital, like not
no
doing well.
idea. And the thing is, too, after the Greencastle parade, everybody, they either are going to breakfast or they just scatter. But you really don't know where anyone is. Mm-hmm. So by the time we were finished, there was nobody like to call real quick. Katy had to go. And I'm like, oh, my God, I would drive you. So it's just a scatter thing. And she's like, I'm just going to drive myself. And hopefully that I get there. So imagine how I feel. I'm like, well, if something happens to her, then think of the story I'm going to have to make up as to, why someone else couldn't take her. I mean, it's going to be ridiculous, right?
It was really bad. I mean, I barely made it there, but I did.
Well, speaking of something that we did make.
We did make the 10K across the bay.
Oh, man.
And we made it to the finish line.
We had the most, I said say we. I'm going to speak for myself. I had the most incredible time at the Chesapeake Bay Bridge 10K that I've ever had on Sunday for two reasons. Number one is I had my wife and my best friend with me. And number two, is I have not done any running at all since a year ago at this very race. So runner, if you're a runner, you know that running is it's more training than anything.
Yeah,
so
you have to keep up. You have to keep up with it.
Yeah, or you're gonna lose, or you're just not going to be able to do it. At the very least, far from what you did at your peak. Anyway, haven't run at all. So I said to Katie, like, look, I'm going into this with no expectations. My only real expectation was I was not going to be able to do the entire thing running. So I jog and I thought I'll be happy, and I will be very happy if I get to a mile without stopping. And sure enough, a mile came, then 2 miles came, 3 miles came. And I thought, okay, I'll stop halfway through because that's a 5K. And I just wanted to keep going. I thought, why would you stop now? And then there was Mary and Katy meeting me when I crossed the finish line, and I was able to do the entire thing, didn't stop, felt great, and I only added 10 minutes to my time from last year. So I was super happy with my experience. And Katy, what about yours?
I mean, I've been wanting to do that run forever. I've always wanted to do the 10K across the bay, but because of COVID, it was closed down 2 years, and both years were the years I was pretty serious about doing it. So I kind of signed up last minute. I ran a 10K back in April. I've ran a couple of 5K since then, but nothing, crazy. It was freaking freezing. Like I was miserable with how cold it was. I was miserable. And not to mention Tiny says, meet me at this park and ride at 5:15, 5:35. He shows up. And the whole time I'm thinking there's 20 more minutes I could have slept, but whatever, here I am. Let's go. So we drive down, we run the race. I did my fastest 10K ever. I've ran 5. That was the fastest time I've ever done.
But that's because she wanted to get to the food, mind you. So
well, pretty much. Well, you had gone on and on about these damn cookies, and then I get to the finish line. There are zero cookies.
No
there
cookies.
Are no cookies for me. But I don't know if it was because I've had a lot of emotional stuff going on in my life, and when I just get running is so therapeutic for me. I don't know why I don't do it more often, but when I get in the zone, that's it. It's game over. But I was really irritated and actually kind of surprised, because most of the time when you do some kind of 10K race, especially the one here for Apple Blossom that I do every year, they say you can walk, but nobody walks. Most of the people run, or they run and walk and run and walk. I mean, a huge chunk of people. There were almost 14,000 people that did this race.
Yep.
There was a huge chunk of people that were walking, which is fine, cool, do your thing, walk. I think that's great. But it clearly states, walkers to the right, runners to the left.
Yes,
well,
many times.
I mean, throughout the entire race, that's all it says. Walkers to the right, runners to the left. And people were constantly walking in the left. And it really started to piss me off because I don't want to be rude, but at this point, I'm actually going pretty quick. I want to see how quickly I can finish the race. And these people are clearly ignoring the signs, walking on the left-hand side.
Just talking away.
And I have to run around, and then people are stopping and taking selfies. And I'm like, can you just get out of my way so I can finish this race? So I was really irritated about that, because I was really surprised how many people were walking it, which I don't mind. Walk it, do your thing, but get out of my way as you're walking it.
I mean, you had a whole damn half the road.
Yeah, there was.
It's not like you had to walk 10 wide.
But don't you think, at least where I was, I would say the majority of the people were walking.
Yeah,
most of the people were. Very few were actually running it and running it
in our
the whole time.
In our wave, walkers were the very overwhelming majority.
Absolutely.
And the runners were few and far between. I mean, to the point where there was one span where I probably went half a mile, and there was not a runner to see in front of me nor behind me.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy, because I know how seriously people take these types of races, and there were so many people that were just with their strollers and their kids and just leisurely walking. This is not a walk in the park. You were literally running across the Bay Bridge, in the middle of November.
For a lot of people, not for a lot of people, for everyone who runs that race, it is that destination race. It's a big one. And if you're from around the area, you either know of or have been on many times in your life the Chesapeake Bay Bridge, driving across it to get to Ocean City. But it's when they open it up that you can be on it, which is never open to foot traffic, the one time a year that they do this. So I think a lot of people, since it is open to walkers as well, it's just, okay, well, that's just simply part of it. So it's not like, oh, it's a run, and, well, okay, if you need to, you can walk. It's literally a walk-run. It's very advertised for both. So when you put that invitation out there where walking is just as high on the list as running, then there's going to be overhead. And there's a ton, like Katy said, a ton of people who just,
a lot of people.
For them, this is just a leisurely let's, as long as we finish before noon and the wagon doesn't come get us
and that's
whatever.
cool. And that's cool. But like, get out of my way. Like there are
Right.
people that are really trying to run this, and it's obnoxious when you have to weave in and out, or if you are on the left side of the bridge and there's people walking in front of you, get out of my way.
Yeah.
So I was actually more irritated about that than I thought I would be, because I'm not a competitive person at all by nature.
Right.
I don't care about being first, last. It does not matter to me. I just want to be successful in whatever I do. But I was getting held up a lot, especially towards the very, very end when we were off of the bridge. There was everybody was walking. So if you wanted to run, you were up in the grass. You were, literally making
it's
your
a
own
much
route to get around
much more
everybody.
narrow area
yeah.
once you get off the bridge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I want you to tell the stories though about when you asked me. Okay. You know where I'm going with this. Okay.
I know exactly where you're going with this. So first of all, I want to say this before I break into these stories. Katy, and I'm going to try to clean up my language here, but there's a word that I would like to use, but I'm not going to.
Does it begin with F?
No.
Okay.
Katy was the most whiny, needy, mean, boo on Sunday. I mean, you talk about
sweet little Katy.
Oh
Sweet
yeah.
Katy?
Oh
my
what
gosh.
starts with
That's
is Katy. Hang on. It starts with, and I own it, being late. I could not remember what time I said to Katy, and by the time I got around to calling her the night before, she was dead asleep at 6:30. I'm calling her at 7:00.
Yeah, obviously.
Which, whatever, that's fine. And then the next morning, I figure, well, it's too late now. I mean, at 5:30, we'll get there when we get there. But anyway, just a curmudgeon is what she was, which rubbed off on me then.
Oh, please don't blame that on me. Do not blame that on me. You were
It
always
was
a
on
curmudgeon.
you.
The problem that I have with you, and I'm sorry, I don't know how to get over this. I don't know how to just put it in the rear view and not think about it, is Tiny is the world's slowest driver. I mean, like, under the speed limit by 5, just slow. So he's 20
I don't
minutes
do
late.
that. I set the cruise control on the speed limit, and that's
No,
it.
It's not the speed limit. Everybody's passing us, and then at some point we're going like 15 under, and I'm like, Tiny, can you please pass this car in front of you? Like, I'm trying really hard to keep my mouth shut and not tell you how to drive. I'm trying to get on my phone, watch a movie, anything to keep my mind distracted from the fact that Tiny is like a grandmother on the road, and it really irritates me. I'm like, can you just at least go the speed limit or go around the people that are like stop for no reason? So it started with that.
At what point did you volunteer to drive?
I have I said it. I told you I would drive. I said, if you want me, when we were driving, I said, if you want to, I will go ahead and take over the driving. I would have happily done that because I
would have
can't
happily let you. I don't remember
stand
that.
you driving. And I felt bad because there Tiny is. He like packed me water. He brought me a turkey sandwich. He made sure it was on the bread that I could eat that didn't have seeds, and it was very thoughtful. And I was like, oh my gosh, Tiny's so nice. But
yeah, and by the way, all this is after she's been a dick to me. Okay, just
whoa.
FYI.
Wow.
Oh yeah. You were. So
I don't know.
I asked her to grab me a water out of the cooler, and now, mind you, at this point, she has already just laid it out, right? She has laid me open completely. She's done all her complaining and carrying on, and she opens up the cooler to get me a water.
Tiny says that he wants the one water that has some stuff that's already in it that he like powdered, put powder in it.
Yeah.
There's like 10 water bottles in the cooler. Like I'm not kidding. There's about 10. So everyone I give him, he's like, that's not it. That's not
That's
it.
not- that's not what I'm talking
That's
about.
not it. I'm like,
What I'm saying
oh my
is-
God, just take a water and drink it.
That's not what I'm saying. So after all of her complaining and belly aching, right? Pardon the pun, Miss Diverticulitis here. But she opens up the cooler, and on top are the sandwiches that I made. And next thing, she's complaining. Oh, you made sandwiches? Oh, is there one for me? I'm like, yes, Katy. That's one of the reasons I tried to call you last night, was because I didn't know whether you wanted turkey or ham or all this kind of stuff. Oh, that's so considerate, but not a. I'm really sorry for being a meanie to you, Tiny. Nothing.
You were also 20 minutes late, so
it was just right back to it, right by way. Here you go, fat ass. Here's your water.
And I was like, and I certainly hope that my sandwich isn't ham. I really hope that my sandwich is not ham because I hate ham.
Well, she starts guessing. Is it ham?
Peanut butter jelly.
Peanut butter jelly.
Peanut butter fluff. Yeah, I did do that.
Katy, I will gladly answer you if you shut up. It's turkey and cheese, for God's sake. So, that all being said, let's talk about the lead up to this race, and we'll tell you about what Katy did that was It's part and parcel.
Classic
Yeah,
Katy.
it's Katy wrapped up all in one little package, all coming up. All powered by Roots Hair Design, Route 11 in Marion.
You don't want your hair just cut or styled. Get your hair designed at Roots Hair Design, 5459 Molly Pitcher Highway in Chambersburg, 717-375-2130. How about a women's cut? $32, $35, or $38? Guys, you're not going to get a better price on the cut you're going to receive at Roots Hair Design than $23. Now, if you have a teenager, girl or boy, $25 and $20 respectively. A kid's cut, just $18. Maybe you need your roots touched up. They have that as well. And they can do your nails, take care of your lashes, facial treatments, waxings, and what I plan to get is a massage. Roots Hair Design, 5459 Molly Pitcher Highway in Chambersburg. $10 off your first service to any new guests, and they're approaching their 12th year in business. You don't last that long if you're not doing something, or in their case, a lot of things right. Roots Hair Design, we can't thank them enough for being part of the Tiny and Katy Show. More of the Tiny and Katy Show starts now.
So we're talking about our Bay Bridge run that happened on last Sunday. We both had an amazing time. We both did great, finished, and you've heard all that earlier in the episode. Now, I'm going to describe this story. It's going to lead to a picture, and then for the benefit of everyone who does not have, that is not watching, I'll describe what's happening. So the lead into the Bay Bridge race is, as with any 10K, you go online, you register, and they give you everything. The day before, I had to go down to Annapolis to Navy Stadium, pick up everyone's packets, myself, Mary's, and Katie's, brought them back, had everything ready for us the next day.
By the way, that's like an hour and a half drive for Tiny just to go and pick these things up, which I thought was amazing that you did that.
You know, but like Katy said, an hour and a half drive probably took me 10 hours, but whatever, it is
yeah,
what it is.
yeah.
Well, in order to pick up the packet, I have to have there's a QR code that comes with your online registration. So I told Katy, this is the night before the race. I'm sorry. We were podcasting last week. That's what it was. During last week's podcast, we're off the air, and I'm like, Katy, can you send me the registration? So she sends me this. There's a sign up for a virtual run page or something like that. I'm like, no, Katy. And mind you, I've gotten these exact same things, so I know what she's looking for. I said, no, Katy, I need the registration. Well, now she's upset. I don't know what that is. I've given you all I have. And she's on the phone with me. She's berating me. I'm like, Katy, I understand, but I need the thing from the Bay Bridge that says registration. So she winds up sending it to me, and then she goes, did you get it? I said, no. Now, mind you, she had sent me the same thing emailed twice. It was not right. So when she got to what she finally thought was it, and turns out it was, she keeps saying to me, did you get it? And I said, no. Well, Tiny, what the hell? Why haven't you gotten it yet? And she starts laying into me again as if it's my fault that the email hasn't shown up yet.
You're
like,
missing
Katy, no.
Before this even started, Tiny said, can I get your email confirmation? And I literally texted him my email address, like
That's right,
confirming this is my email. And he was like,
let me confirm
no,
this
dumbass,
is your
email confirmation for the Bay Bridge.
And I told her, I thought that she was sending me that. Like, do you want me to get in your email and find it for you? Because I'll need your password. But anyway, so then fast forward, and so, I can't, it's not coming through. I hang up from her, and I said, I'll let you know when I get it. Well, here, she texted that to me. Mm-hmm. So she screen capped and texted me the QR code. Now, that is not, folks, the funniest part of this whole thing.
I mean, whatever. You got what you needed. We got there, the end.
No, not the end. This is the best part. This is the one that comes with the beautiful picture that you're about to see. So the morning of, I was getting ready to leave, and I told Mary that I was leaving, and she said, oh, here's the stuff that you need to pick up my packet. Well, I thought I had everything that she needed because I registered her along with me. She said, well, if you would have read it, it said that you needed a copy of my driver's license. I'm like, oh, okay. So she had it printed up for me. So at some point in the morning, I text Katy and I said, hey, need a picture of your license. So this, my dear friends, is what she sends me.
Now, Mary's on my side with this because we talked about this, and Mary was like, I'm sorry, I have a dog in the room with me, and things are happening.
Oh, Walter's pushing the backdrop here.
Walter's really coming in hot here. So Mary
But anyway,
was like,
so let's describe real quick what
it's a picture of my license plate on my
plate.
car my
Correct.
car. And Tiny is like, "No, you dumbass. I need a picture of your driver's license." And I'm getting so frustrated. And I'm like, "Why are you needing all these things from me? Like, I don't know why you need my email, my registration, my QR code, my driver's license. Here's my bra size. Like, what else do you need from me at this moment?"
Right.
And so we're talking about it in the car, and Mary's like, "I'm actually on your side, Katie." And I'm like, "Thank you. License could mean driver's license, or it could mean license plate, because I was also stopping at a park and ride." So I was like, maybe they need my my plate for the park and ride. I wasn't really quite sure. Plus, I was so irritated that Tiny just kept coming at me with questions about this. Like, what shirt size do you need? You know, what time do you want to meet here? Do you want to meet here? I'm like, oh my God, I have like too much going on right now. Just tell me where I need to be and what, and just make it work and figure it out. And drive me to and from, and bring me sandwiches and water, and I will just be an active participant in this event.
Yeah. So we get that. You just saw the picture. That was obviously something for us to laugh about. Now we're going to wrap this story up.
Wait.
So
Okay.
Go ahead. What do you got?
No. Go on, please.
So then we're leaving, and the race begins on the west side of the Bay Bridge of the Chesapeake Bay, and it ends on the east side. And what they do is it ends at this what's called the business park. You park on a bus, and they take you back over to the other side, and you go to your car and whatever else. So as we're finishing the race, or as I'm finishing the race, I guess, when you go over Route 50, you can look right to your left and you see the Bay Bridge. And I saw that traffic had backed up a little bit, and I didn't think really much of it. We get over there right away. We are not ones to stick around. I certainly am not ones to stick around.
No, we're ready to go.
We went right to the bus. I crossed the finish line, get my medal, and I keep on walking. Let's go to the bus. Well, we wind up in, what was it, an hour and a half's worth of traffic? I mean,
it was
a massive amount. So there was an accident. They had the entire eastbound span closed down for the race. The normally westbound span, there was an accident at the top of it, and it was already 2-lane traffic heading west, and 1 lane. So it was both lanes, both directions on one bridge, and which is not uncommon. But you get a wreck over there, you are done.
Yeah, it's over.
I mean, traffic is just gridlocked completely. And Katie had said to me before, "Well, what time do you think that we'll be back?" And she's just seemed like she could not wait to get this day over with, like this race. Well, what time does that put me back? Now, I get it. Okay, but you didn't tell me ahead of time, just like I didn't tell you I was going down the day before, which is why I needed all that information.
Got it.
So she didn't inform me of why. All I was getting was all these questions leading to, what time are we going to be back? Give me a window of time we're going to be back. And I told Mary, I don't, on the way to pick up Katie, I don't know that Katie necessarily wants to do this. She's just all about what time is she going to be back. And ultimately it comes out that Katie had to work on her lesson plans on Sunday, which is when she does that. But I mean to tell you folks, talk about a bear with a sore rear end and some diverticulitis. It was Katie with having to sit in traffic and like, oh my God.
Yeah, I can't.
God.
I do not do well in traffic. So it's best for me to just somehow like put my headphones on, be on my phone, something, so I can just avoid the fact that I'm sitting in traffic. There's something about when I see it's coming and I'm stopping and I'm not moving. I mean, I'm irate. I'm really angry about it.
Yeah.
I have big feelings about it. And I try really hard to think about like, okay, something obviously happened to somebody,
right.
and
somebody could be injured. Or
exactly.
whatever.
And I am selfish because it's like, oh, I can't get to my lesson plans right now. But I do have a really, really difficult time when I have to sit in traffic. It just, it really, really upsets me.
Yeah.
I don't do well with it. Because I'm so like, I don't think I've never been diagnosed, but I do think I have a little ADD, a little bit of it. Like I'm always all over the place. And so just that sitting and not being able to move, it makes me like crazy, like literally makes me a little bit nutso on top of what I already have as a little bit of crazy. So
yeah. So
it's not a good
end
combo.
this with just how well, and it shocked. Go ahead. What were you going to say? Because it might be different.
Well, I had a question, but not with anything like this. But so go, and then I want to ask my question.
Well, to show how well I know Katie, and I've always known her this way, is Mary and I are sitting together. Katie is on right across from us, and she's sitting in her seat. And at some point in all of this, I look over and I'm like, she's going to lay down. And Mary goes, what? I said, Katie, she's going to lay down. And nothing happened. Wouldn't you know it, 20, 30 seconds later, Katie shifts, and tries to lay down. Mary looks at me and she goes, how did you know that she was about to lay down? I'm like, I just know.
I'm like
I
a dog.
just
like,
know.
Just have behavior before I do something.
Oh, yeah. Like, hey, down.
Yeah, I know. And
Now, what were you going to say?
Oh, well, this is like nothing to do with anything to do with Bay Bridge, but I was just curious about this today. So, when the days start becoming like this, like they're shorter and they're cooler and there's overcast, it really makes me think of Christmas. I start to get like that Christmas feel if I want to start decorating. Like, what is your first Christmas movie that you will watch every year when you're really starting to feel it, like the season's coming on?
Christmas Vacation.
That's mine too.
I'll tell you why, because the tradition in Mary's parents' home, and I'm perfectly fine with this, is always watched on Thanksgiving evening.
Okay.
So if I watch a Christmas movie prior to Thanksgiving, obviously it would have to be prior to that to be the first one, but Thanksgiving evening is the first one. What about you? So it's Christmas Vacation, but when?
Today, like tonight. That's what I'm going to do tonight. So I bought 2 Christmas decorations from Target. Those are the first ones because I just was really feeling it. Like, I'm like, this is a Christmas day. I need to stop and like get something. So I bought something Christmassy, and then I was looking online, and I'm going to, as soon as we're done podcasting, do my lessons for tomorrow, and I'm going to lay down and watch a Christmas Vacation because that is always like okay, this season is here. Let's rock and roll. And who doesn't love all the classic lines from Christmas Vacation?
I can just imagine. I just imagine Katy walking through Target as, deck the halls with boughs of holly. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
you should have heard her on the bus on the way back. The bus driver was blasting Christmas music. I mean, like crazy.
A little too much.
And Katy would just break out and like, I don't want a lot for Christmas. There's just one thing I need. Oh, yeah.
That's how I like to sing. I don't ever like to sing exactly how the song sounds. I like to make up my own little Katy flair. So it's like, I don't want a lot for Christmas. like just like prolonging things, making things staccato, like just kind of making it my own. It makes me laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So anyway, if you did the 10K across the bay, congratulations. We hope that we passed you. I mean, I know I did. Tiny clearly did not.
Well, I had several people who sent me messages on the Tiny Facebook page who said that they saw me pass them, and we're going to say hi, and that they ran it too. So if they happen to be watching, hi, and I'm glad
congratulations.
You didn't see Katy.
Yeah, because and if you were walking in the left lane, I'm sorry if I like cussed at you.
Right. Well, Katy, you didn't hear what I said. I mean, because Katy would have otherwise been upset. It's like, oh well, of course they see Tiny. I'm Tiny. I'm here.
I'm
just
Tiny.
here.
I'm so important. Oh, my name's Tiny. Everybody loves me.
Hey, we're up against time tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. It's the Tiny and Katy Show, powered by Roots Hair Design, Route 11 in Marion. We will see you next week, where we would not be limping or hobbling or sore because we will not have run a 10K. Bye.
I actually will have been, but yes. Anyway, goodbye.
Bye.